Okay, we're going to quickly run through the next lesson. It kind of rolls on from the previous videos quite similarly. So we're going to go through and kind of point how that works. So parts of similar triangles. What lesson 8.6 points out is that, I'll read it here. You have learned that corresponding side lengths of similar triangles are proportional. This concept can be extended to other segments in triangles. So for example, if we take these two triangles, which I attempted to draw out so they look like similar triangles, ignore this little crease in this side, but we have proportional side lengths. So we can see that in my example, the proportion is a 1:2 proportion. So it's whatever this number is, this one is twice as big, right? This number twice as big, this number twice as big. Well, what we're saying in lesson 8.6 is that that proportionality extends to any part of the triangle that you want to draw. So we've talked about a thing called an altitude, which is like the height of a triangle. So for example, if the altitude of this one was 2, well, then the altitude of this one must be 4. We've talked about angle bisectors. So if we, over here, if we, oops, I'm trying to get rid of that one. If we take this angle and we cut it in half, okay, so like maybe that's a little bigger than 2 now, a little longer, we'll call it 2.2. Well, then this one, when we cut it in half, is going to be 4.4. So this proportionality applies to altitudes. The proportionality applies to the length of an angle bisector. I think on the next page, get myself over to the next page. On the next page, they point out the same thing with medians. So if you recall, a median was if I cut this side in half, if I find the midpoint and go out to the midpoint. So let's say this is like, I'm trying to give you a different number for each of these. 2.5, well, then this one would be 5. So all of these kind of features, all of these kind of like the anatomy of these triangles, these different features that we can draw, whether it's an altitude, angle bisector, or a median. Try not to get mixed up between those because they kind of all look very similar. But regardless, they all will continue to stick to the proportionality. So the way they write that is like, for this one, for example, they are saying the proportion between RS to HJ is the same proportion as PQ to FG. So if that was like my example was that 1:2 proportion, that 1:2 proportion holds true no matter what you're looking at. Okay, so we'll try to use that in example 1 in the next video.